It's beautiful standing here on the seawall, watching the sun creep over the mighty Atlantic Ocean. The city of Georgetown coming alive behind me, persons coming out for an early morning jog along the seawall. Almost every morning you would find a number of people out here on the seawall doing their exercises. But the seawall is more than just a place for persons to stretch their muscles. It is the first line of defense for a vulnerable city. Georgetown, the capital city of Guyana, is home to 240,000 of the country's 3/4 million or so inhabitants. It is the country's center of business and where the seat of government can be found. But for all its importance, Georgetown is at risk. Over the past several years, Georgetown has been experiencing various levels of flooding, especially during the rainy season of May, June, and December. Because the city lies just above sea level, drainage can only be done when the tide is low. Early developers recognized the city's vulnerability and built a network of drains and canals to drain the city. Over the years, the city developed and the demand for space grew. The number of inhabitants multiplied and commercial activities increased, but the capacity to effectively drain the city remained stagnant. And with changing climate that brought about increased levels of rainfall, the threat to the city increased. In January 2005, Guyana experienced an unusual amount of rainfall, which caused severe flooding on the coastland. In fact, it was the worst flooding that the country had ever experienced. It was compounded by the fact that the drainage system was not designed to take off the amount of water that came from the rainfall in such a short period of time. Though the network of drains and canals is designed to drain the city at a rate of 1.5 inches in 24 hours, this can be greatly reduced if the infrastructure is not properly maintained.
I almost consider it a criminal activity to see the condition in which these the outfalls are. I mean, I know there's neglect. And one stage beyond neglect, I reckon, is criminal, meaning the amount of money that we would have lost, the man hours, the agricultural property, just the damage to your property that would have been lost, just purely by the fact that you have, and these outfalls have been here since the creation of the city of Georgetown. And people would have known about it. I mean, so it's almost criminal to neglect them to that extent, which would affect the citizenry of Georgetown.
When the city is flooded, everyone is affected. Residents, businesses, school children, everyone.
Because Georgetown is our capital, we're below sea level, and you need to ensure its integrity by a proper drainage plan, taking account of its configuration, the fact that at high tide, we've got to seal the city off from the ocean and the river. But we have the answers. All is required now is the cooperation, which, as mayor, I am confident is now possible in the government, the municipality, the business sector, and most important, the people, the citizens, and the media.
Water's in my yard, it's still up to my knee. I'm wearing a long boots and water's getting in my knee into the long boots. And it's kind of smelly because my neighbor has some chicken pen. And you know, it's really smelling bad and it's affecting me a lot. And my kids are not getting to go to school because of the water in the yard.
The farms are crying out that the weather now, the rain, flood, now they produce. So that's as the sun start coming now, things will get back as normal. They could also be. Right now it kind of real heavy price. Cabbage is $3.60. You know what I mean? Carlo knows to sell 4, selling 3. You know, pumpkin right is the only thing selling in reasonable. But we hoping that the weather now change. You know, as the weather change now, rain's gonna get back.
Reasonable at least so people get to eat.
Okay, so when this market is flooded, how is business?
Greens is get there. Greens is get there. Langs is the flood. Greens is get there.
Because customers don't come in and shop like when the market flood.
They don't come in and shop?
Don't come in and shop nothing when the market flood the water. I'll look to see they could buy from the road and to along there.
Well, the market don't really flood like that, you know. It's just when the rain falls.
And the back there, that's when we flood.
The lanes is just this lane here, and more up in front is where it's really when the rain falls is where it's really flood.
When it flood, nobody don't come out and buy because the pave does flood, and as you notice, it's on the pave I selling. So I don't expect nobody to walk in the flood water to come and buy. So I either don't come and sell either. I think that we need to get the drain clean and just keep maintaining the cleanliness of it, and I think it should be better. Well, the vendors, them does maintain it, I know that of a fact, right? But where cleaning is concerned. But I think we as the citizens need to work more to make sure that, you know, the drain keep clean.
It's been a very real messed up state, you know, so it don't be comfortable for working in at them times.
What about prices for goods?
The price of goods, well, it'll be real high at that time too, because it'll be scarce.
People coming?
No, people cannot come in here because the market will be flooded when the rain falls. You know, so it don't make no sense.
But does the water drain out fast?
Yeah, it'll be just see a little bit, but now everything is slow a lot. And everything, but I don't know, business already doing that before now. So I don't know if the rain caused it or what the people, I don't know what's going on. But on the market, the state right now needs little repairs and so though. Because the roof is in a terrible condition when the rain falls. The rain is leaking through the roof on the side there. You can't be comfortable doing your business and do the things, you know. So I think somebody in the authority should really look into it. Because they really need somebody to look into this here. So the market is really in a bad state. The drainage system, they got to do first. Do the most important thing right now for the flooding. And when they implement everything, it will be okay. The flooding system will be rectified. You know, at least they're looking after it to me. For me, I see that they're doing something towards it. So I don't know if they will help out with the flooding.
All over the market is flood out, right? But the thing is that if the place gets a clean, good, and the maintenance is the most important thing. It really affects you a lot. Because when the people come to buy here, strictly know the water coming. So we know what the government can do about it, you know. Because we know you getting right just coming, right? You can't do everything right away. But we just open that if the whole country, the cleaning up could do, maintain. Because a lot of people want to work. I said up on the pavement there, could come off and do work. Pick up strong people, have the pavement and let them clean the place. They got some in the prison, could come out and clean the place.
What about prices for you sell fish? What about the prices when it flood or when it's raining? Prices remain the same or it go up?
No, well, they don't go up. The fish don't go up. It can be buy it at one price, you sell it at one price. It remains the same price. But the problem is that the people are coming. That's the problem, you understand? So what you could do, the rain, you can't stop it, but you just open up the place, clean up more, and maintain. The water won't flood, it will go down.
To address the problem, the government of Guyana has initiated a two-step plan. The first includes taking immediate steps to clear the drainage system.
Cabinet has approved the sum of $75 million, which will go to, but not limited, the desilting of Kingston, Outfalls, Lamahorse Street, Sussex Street, and Meadowbank South. Clearing, the inland clearing, which are the drainage tunnel under the Transport and Harbour buildings, which is right around here, to east to Lamahorse Street. The drainage tunnel from Munishwar boundary going east to Avenue of the Republic. The concrete channel leading up to the pump station at John Finance. And the Tulsi Pasod area, the channel on the, leading up there, including repairs to some revetments. The sum will also cover emergency crews, which will clear blockages in and around our internal drains, which is under our culverts, our bridges, etc. We will be furnishing the members of the media shortly with a hotline, which we'd ask the citizens of the city to call in to advise us if there was a blockage, any blockages in their area, and we have the crews. The crews will comprise teams from City Council, the force unit from the Ministry of Public Infrastructure, and the Ministry of Communities.
We have the outfall to be clean at Kingston, and all these tenders are going to be open on July 14th, right at the ministry. We'll have that opening. So we have Kingston, the outfall will be done there. We have the Lamaha Street Sluice outfall will be done, and also the inlet. We also have Sussex Street, and we have Meadowbank. So those are the areas we're focusing now on in terms of our outfall channels. You also have the revetment work at Sussex Street that will be completed. That is also to be opened on the 14th. So once all these tenders have been opened, we expect within probably a week for the works to be assessed in terms of tenders, and then we'll have contractors mobilized to execute works. Most of these works will take between 2 to 3 weeks in terms of completing those outfalls.
The first step of the plan has seen widespread support from ordinary citizens and the business community. They recognize that they have a role to play if the flooding in Georgetown is to be minimized, and they also understand that this is not a job for the government alone.
We're focusing on the, let's call it the wider Georgetown area, from Agricola right on to Cummins Lodge. And our major focus at this time is rendering immediate and near immediate assistance to communities that are involved in their own cleanup and drainage exercises, as well as creating those interventions wherever necessary to help with immediate community cleanup exercises. Like we have been able in Lane Avenue, West Rheinbelt area to provide infrastructure in terms of provide equipment, trucks, bobcats, excavators, wherever necessary to help them with their own drainage and cleanup exercises. We've intervened in Middleton Street, Campbellville. We have been doing some sterling work in that area, in Beefield, Sophia, even now, helping with the trench cleaning or canal cleaning exercises, as well as the carting away of debris and stuff that residents and community-minded people have put together in terms of their cleanup exercises. So that all in all across Georgetown, we have been called out all times of the day to assist either with pieces of equipment, trucking, that's carting away, or some kind of technical help in relation to helping communities move forward in their aspect, in their concerns as it relates to drainage, cleanup. This exercise is a cabinet-sponsored exercise, and the fact that the NDIA, City Council, and the Ministry of Public Infrastructure are involved speaks to a more collaborative effort as it relates to not only garbage disposal, but ultimately the re-education of our citizens as it relates to garbage disposal. Because we have observed in the alleyways, particularly in Albertown, Queenstown, around Border, parts of Alboystown, parts of Kitty as well, several pieces of equipment, old fridges, as you rightly said, stoves that should not be in the alleyways. They should have been disposed more appropriately. We recognize it has been a matter of resource, it has been a matter of education, public education, it has been a matter of indiscipline, but we intend in a holistic manner to approach drainage, to approach cleanup, to approach garbage disposal, as I said, in a more structured manner, which will create a win-win situation for all citizens and for the council and the ministries as a whole.
The areas we cover so far is Kitty, Albertown, parts of Queenstown, all the alleyways in Albertown, part of Cummins Street over the next side. By Durban Street, there's Workmanville, Hatfield Street, right onto the end. Also by the hospital in this area.
This area is the hospital.
One of the biggest problems with the drainage though, a lot of persons would have constructed the bridge over a period of time, and instead of breaking the existing bridge, they would build on top of that one. And that the one at the bottom would fall in the drain directly. So this become like a blockage to then stop the water from flowing, and after a time still build up, you know.
And we have problems with people who have sandbag in these drains, and the sandbag is a major problem because we had to lift the sandbag out of the drain before this water can start running. And most of the area is Durban Street, and the alleyways in Albert area we find like mattress, old bed, fridge, everything that people own, washing machine, they throw in the alleyway. It got some people, the sewerage leading into the alleyway. So we wish if the city council can do something about this, because right now, this cleanup, we wish if city council could come on board and put some heavy penalty on some of these business people and residents.
Around this hospital area, we check more up. Outside the truck already leave. Some you find needles, you find syringe inside the same parts of, while you got some people now, they have the normal concrete bridge and they build a concrete bridge over the bridge. So there's certain parts when you're trying to get access to the such, you got to send in people under the bridge, and that is bad. Because the people have to realize is that cleanup campaign, and they're aware of it. There's certain people now, they have these concrete grill over the drain. You can't get it, they well it down into the gutter. So you can't get access to the certain stuff. It amazes you that if not around here you find feces in bags, you name it, we see it all within the same area. And it is bad, it's not wholesome, it's not healthy for the environment. Everybody have the responsibility to clean up in front of them. Because if you clean your part, the other person clean their part, and it go on, it's like a chain. You'll find that when rain falls, the water will be able to pour out more easily. But because you might find a man build his bridge, and because he put it more low, one part are draining and the other part undraining, so you'll find the water build up.
For the market facilities, people making money after the market, and when they finish selling, it's just dirty. Garbage in the society is not easy, and for us cleaning it, it's very hard. Right now I'm a skin growing. It's not easy for the people who cleaning. Certain place we finish cleaning, we see the junkies. I would like to call on it for that. The junkies are sleeping on the road, and the cardboard that they're sleeping on is there, and we finish cleaning there.
The second part of the plan is more long-term.
Cabinet has approved the establishment of a multidisciplinary task force, including civil societies that I had proposed, and they have given me the mandate to establish this. I do hope to start working, calling in a few individuals to start working on the terms of reference for this task force. The task force will, of course, address A, in the first instance, city drainage, B, traffic management, and C, urban rehabilitation as a whole. We do hope that when completed, we would have a holistic plan for the renewal of Georgetown. You must understand that it shall be a medium-term endeavor, however, which will be so phased that we will start immediately on the first phase, city drainage. We're working on the terms of reference. I do expect it will be a collection of collection of personnel and resource persons, and then we will probably provide them with an administrative assistant. We will probably have to speak to the lawyers, the Guyana Bar Association, because obviously there are legal issues with, there is the Municipal Act there is the Sea Defense Act, there's the Utilities Act, the Georgetown Sewage Act. So all of these here have to be harmonized, and whatever plans that we do develop will have to be examined in the legal framework. We speak to the architects, the Institute of Architects, because they're heritage building, green spots, green spaces, you know what I mean? You speak to the engineers. So I do expect that we will take a very holistic approach. So I'm working on the terms of reference, and that will determine the level of consultation. It is a broad-based thing. I mean, I will be consulting after getting the terms of reference, GAPE, which is the Engineers Association. I mean, there's a private sector group that's been doing quite a lot of work on drainage in the city. I mean, the mayor, city council will be involved. All the relevant government ministries will have stakeholders there. So I think at the end of when the final composition of the task force, we have representative of all the major stakeholders.
Georgetown, like other parts of the country, we should not disregard the fact that the effects of climate change is with us, and we are facing those effects of climate change, whereby in many instances they're short duration, heavy downpour of rain, which results in excessive accumulation and ultimately flooding. So the problem of some inadequacies in terms of drainage, capacity to drain water, in addition to that, we are facing that effect of climate change also. So to answer a question in terms of capacity, the problem is further compounded with those climatic events. But a lot of work is being done in terms of the pumps that was being repaired, and the effort from here on would primarily be focused on improving capacities to drain the city of Georgetown. And it's not only limited to this, right across the country. If you go to many places in Region 6, Region 5, Region 3, Region 2, you would see projects like new pump stations are going up, new sluices are going up. So nationally, there's that whole portfolio of project that has to be implemented.
Georgetown is an interesting city. You can find architectural masterpieces reflective of the city's colonial past intermingled with more modern designs. Place of worship for various religions set close to each other and existing peaceably. Persons of varying background and ethnicity living and working side by side. Georgetown, it is a city worth saving.